So good morning, friends. I see great pleasure. Very, very diverse gathering from representing various countries. Very, very colorful gathering, rather. I recognize the presence of Dr. David Bergwinson, who is a dynamic Director General of IAS here. For your information, Hyderabad is not only known for pearls and biryani, the cuisine, great cuisine. It is also a great educational hub. It's also a headquarters for national level premier research in agriculture. And we are proud to have Dr. David with us representing International Research Institute. He's a very dynamic personality. In fact, I recollect the recent episode wherein he facilitated development of a phablet to be in the hands of field functionaries of Agriculture Department. And I think it's in final stage now. We have already entered into MOU. So that will go to field and it will be very, very useful for the farming community in the days to come. I recognize the presence of Dr. Sumant, representing NIRD. I think this symposium is being supported by NIRD and IAS. So I am grateful to Shri Devi Prasad Garu for making me part of this symposium. The context is very, very important here. On the one hand, the scientific community have been discussing about food security, the context of sustainable agriculture, and Dr. David quoted the father of Green Revolution, Professor M.S. Swaminathan. He says evergreen revolution. We are waiting eagerly for second green revolution, but he says it has to be evergreen revolution in terms of ecological farming, sustainable agriculture production, etc. So in that context, the climatic change and its impact, which is very, very visible in our daily life, plays very, very important role, and in fact, it is considered as one of the major threats in the 21st century. If you just analyze the last 100 years, there have been several studies which go to say that the terrestrial temperature, what is the increase of temperature in the last 100 years, the curve is continuously rising. And they say that post-60s particularly, the rise is continuous. And in the last decade, the increase in terrestrial temperature is 0.74 centigrade. So any rise in temperature, 1 degree or 2 degree, has huge implication, particularly for agriculture sector. They talk of raising, temperatures of ocean surface, sea surface temperatures, and everybody is concerned with the levels of carbon dioxide concentration. In the last 100 years, it is estimated that the level of carbon dioxide concentration has gone up from 220 ppm to 400 ppm. And they're making a lot of predictions what is going to be the scenario by end of 21st century. The modeling, GCM modeling, whatever models we have, simulation models, they go to the extent of making an assessment by the end of this century, the likely increase in terrestrial temperature is 3.74, which is mind-boggling. And the level of carbon dioxide concentration is going to be around 1290 ppm from the present level of 400 ppm. We have been talking of the increased levels of greenhouse gases as a result of human activity, let it be burning of fossil fuels or use of refrigerators. But ultimately it is reflected in the rise of terrestrial temperatures, sea temperatures, increased levels of carbon dioxide, increased levels of methane, nitrous oxide. So they are going to have huge implications for the entire humanity, particularly for agriculture sector. We can also say that up to 90s, not much attention has been paid to the subject, the impact of climate change on agriculture. Only in the recent past, maybe last 15-20 years, we have been seriously thinking about it. But though we have been thinking about it, we have been only involved in making assessments rather than evolving suitable options or strategies to mitigate this stress. Now the greatest challenge before the scientific community here is to give the farmer in the field the package. It can be a technological package, it can be a socio-economic package, which can be utilized by each and every farmer, and that has to be tailored to these local needs. Because the impact of agriculture, if you analyze at global level, the impact is meager to moderate, but the impact at regional level is very huge. In fact, if you go by the experience of our own state, which used to be combined state of Andhra Pradesh, in the last 15 years, the frequency of extreme weather events is unimaginably huge. We have witnessed in 2002 very severe drought, 2004 heat wave, 2012, 13, 14, large number of cyclones, Neelam, Hudud, so many names of cyclones we can name. So in the last 15 years, the frequency of extreme weather events has gone up. Not only that, if you analyze very closely, the extreme events are happening in the same region in the same year. For example, if you take the combined state of Andhra Pradesh, of which we were part till 1.5 years back, this state has witnessed in some part drought and other parts floods and cyclones in the same year. It happened this year, it happened last year, it happened in the last 4 or 5 years. This is something very, very interesting that is going on. And in the days to come, the global mean temperature is relatively likely to be higher than mean in the days to come. In fact, if you analyze the second part of 20th century, the closely observed thing shows that the intense rainy days have increased and number of rainy days have increased, and the distribution of rainfall has been more and more erratic in the second part of 20th century. So which is a cause for severe concern for all of us. Is a cause of concern for not only India, for all the developing countries, but because most of the developing countries, they fall in tropics, and tropics are more susceptible to climate change when compared to temperate regions. They say that for cool climate countries, the minor increase in temperature may help, but we get a mixed responses for even temperate countries. Considering entire gamut of climate change, we are talking about not only temperatures but other things like methane, increasing levels of methane. Agriculture sector is not only contributing to climate change, it is also victim of climate change. It has a dual role. It is contributing by increasing CO2 levels, methane levels, nitrous oxide levels. At the same time, the impact of climate on agriculture is very huge in terms of yields, in terms of productivity, production levels, the water availability. It poses a huge challenge for agriculture in the days to come. So considering this backdrop, I can say that particular regions, maybe if I quote the Telangana state to which I belong, the variability for precipitation, that is rainfall, is playing havoc with our state. last 2 years, our state has witnessed very, very severe, drought kind of situation, deepening, groundwater levels. It is one of the worst summer seasons we are witnessing this season. In the last, say, 50 years, 100 years, this is considered one of the worst drought years in the history of this part of state. So in terms of regional impact, the climatic change is playing very, very, adverse role, so to say. When we talk of, mitigation strategies or adaptations, now there is a dire need to equip our farmers with the technologies, with the package of practices, whatever knowledge we are gaining out of our research. In fact, the research which has gone into climate change and its impact is minimal. In the days to come, the investment in research, agriculture research, has to go up as far as this subject is concerned. We are happy that Government of India has recently taken initiative, and as part of 11th Fire Plan, they have started a project called NICRA, National Initiative on Agriculture Resilience, climate, so which is going to play a very, very important role in the days to come. So there is a need to design new tools as part of our research so that they can be used by the farmers. There are so many strategies which can be discussed in the day which is followed by this inaugural session. There can be agronomic practices, let it be adjustment of sowing dates. In fact, in Telangana state, we spoke of sowing rule, what we call sowing rule. This much minimum moisture must be available in the soil, then only you sow it. Adjustment of sowing dates, adjusting cropping calendar, even relocation of crops to other parts of the state on the basis of crop colony concept. Tailoring the duration of the crops and varieties to escape heavy rainfall or to escape the drought condition or the frequent dry spells or very long dry spells. So there is a need for developing new cultivars having multi-resistance, let it be drought, let it be cold, let it be frost. And the gene pyramiding and also the biotechnology may play very, very important role in the days to come in building a specific resistance to drought or high temperature. The biotechnology is going to play a very, very important role. The time has come we have to weigh the risks and benefits of biotechnology in the context of impact of climate change when we discuss this issue. There is a need for diversification, including genetic structure and genetic structure of the population of the plants which we grow there. There is a need to develop resource conserving technologies which will save fuel, save water, labor saving. These technologies we have to develop. And on-farm soil moisture conservation technologies, we have to take them to field. CREDA has been playing very, very important role in these parts. And there is need for going for some kind of information centers at the village level which will give proper advisories. They can forecast the weather depending on the IMD forecast, and they can pass on proper advisories to the farmer regarding sowings, the varieties, the agronomic practices they have to follow. Crop insurance has to be made very, very effective. We are happy that Government of India has come up with new crop insurance scheme. We hope that it is going to give better results, and it will also reduce the burden of the farmer in terms of paying premium. One challenge of this subject is uncertainty. We are not sure which group will be affected, to what extent, what is the magnitude of impact that is going to be there in the days to come. And this uncertainty which is there in the minds of everybody is becoming a mental block, obstacle in taking initiatives. That is one challenge I can visualize. And whatever mitigation strategies or adaptation strategies we are discussing, they have to be affordable at the level of farmer. We are talking of those farmers who are small and marginal. And marginal farmers marginal farming is more vulnerable to the impact of climate change. We need to factor in the indigenous knowledge. Our farmers, out of their own experience over a period of time, they accumulate a lot of information and knowledge, how to adjust. They have a lot of programming in terms of their sentiments, their beliefs, which is accumulated over a period of time. They have their traditional knowledge, which has to be factored into our package, because they have been doing this exercise. The adjustment of crops, the pattern, the sequence, the dates, they have been doing this exercise. That knowledge also has to be factored into. And it cannot be just agriculture sector. Because the impact, if you want to analyze, it will have impact on the livelihoods of the people. There is a need to go for alternate livelihoods for our people, particularly small and marginal farmers. So there need to be a clear shift from assessments to evolving options or strategies or adaptation packages which are relevant not just at national level or regional level, at local level, to that particular farmer, to that particular crop. What exactly kind of packages you are advising the farmer? This kind of climate scenario, you do this. We need to have such a shelf of projects for the farmers, and they have to be taken to the farmers with the help of the ICT. So specific technologies, specific packages have to be designed, and ultimately I can only say that entire approach has to be farmer-centric. All said and done, we are all working for our client, the farmer. We have to consider his situation, his illiteracy, the level of his accessibility. We have to consider and see that the approaches which will be focused on farmer-centric approaches when you talk of this evolving adaptation strategies or mitigation strategies. I hope that these deliberations will definitely help. It will help the participants. It will also help our country and our state. When Mr. Devi Prasad comes up with compendium of recommendations, we hope that that will be used by our governments, both at national level and state level, and all the premier research institutes which are represented by scientific heads here. Thank you. I wish a grand success for this.